My name is Anthony Fisher. I'm here with Kate Cobb and Max Rudgun, and we're here to present you a project. We are all from Stockton University. We are all in the same instructional technology class, and we're here today to just show how education can be used with different types of technology, such as Google Hangout. Now, what we're going to present today is Common Core and what it's all about, what it is, everything like that. Now, I'm going to start off, just give you a little bit of background and information on what Common Core is. Now, to give you background information, the education system has been making leaps and bounds ever since the 20th century. That's where the education really started to boom. Now, each year in the 20th century, the education has become better and better and better and has been improving for the students. Now, the problem came into play where the turn of the 21st century was there was a problem that the government had found where the test scores were rising like how they were in the previous years, but unfortunately, the students weren't acquiring the knowledge. They were getting the good test scores, but not actually obtaining the knowledge. The problem was we didn't know what to do, so we started reforms such as No Child Left Behind, and now the most recent one is the implementation of Common Core. Now, I'm saying all this, but what is Common Core and what are these standards? Well, I'll give you a brief background information. And what it is Common Core is basically a set of state standards that are nationwide to level a playing field of what each student does and how it needs to be taught to them. Now, I found a lot of this information straight on the Common Core Standards website. And where I found the most information that was the most helpful about exactly where to start, the whole background of everything, was under the tab about the standards and the frequently asked questions. Now, the first question I had is, well, what are educational standards? Educational standards are educational standards that are learning goals for what students should know and be able to do at each grade level. Educational standards help teachers ensure their students have skills and knowledge they need to be successful, while also helping parents understand what is expected of their children. So not only is it a teacher-student relationship, it's a parent-parental involvement as well. So we have that. Now, what is the Common Core? The Common Core is state education chiefs and governors in 48 states came together to develop the Common Core, a set of clear college and career-ready standards for kindergarten through 12th grade in English, language arts, literacy, and mathematics. Today, 43 states have voluntarily adopted and are working to implement the standards, which are designed to ensure that students graduating from high school are prepared to take credit bearing introductory courses in 2 or 4-year college programs or enter the workforce. Now, after hearing that, you could say, oh, they've done this, they've done that, but how do we really know that they have done anything that is beneficial to students? Well, what they have done was they have got teachers to help implement these standards and rules so they could actually have someone that is in the field and has experienced all of these struggles to see that what the standards should be and how the standards could be better. Now there has been problems over this past because I've told you a lot of the good stuff, but there has been problems that have been presented from this because it is just new and has been implementing. It's only 5 years old, and aren't there are flaws in it that are causing problems throughout the state, and that's why you could see 48 have started, and now there's only 43. Now I'm going to pass it over to Kay right now, and she'll explain all of the pros to having these standards and also all the cons to having these standards implemented.
Hi, I'm Kate, and like Anthony said, I am going to discuss the pros and cons to the Common Core standards, which is why it's so controversial throughout the United States right now. And I will start off first of all, the standards are comparable to other countries' standards, So it's beneficial to the United States because it will make our rankings go up higher. And also the development of teachers will improve because they will all be teaching the same thing, so they'll all need to develop in the same way. All states will also be able to save money on state testing because they'll all be taking the same test. So it's not going to be an individual New Jersey test, an individual Pennsylvania test. It will be all one. It will increase students' critical thinking and problem-solving skills, so that will be beneficial for a student. It won't be a problem if students move from state to state, so because they will all be learning the same standards, so it won't be much of a setback for a student to move. The assignments will all be authentic, and teachers will be able to track students' progress throughout the school year. Now, on the other hand, the cons is what's making it so controversial. The main problem is that the transition won't be as easy as everyone expects it to be, a lot difficult, and the standards are very plain and broad, so they're not very specific, so it won't be very useful. Schools will actually end up having to spend more money on technology because the assessments for this is all online, so they have to get the technology to go along with that. It will actually have more testing than the testing that students already have to go through now. And another downfall would be that the teachers who don't agree with this may find another career because they don't want to teach these standards. So that's a problem. And also another huge issue is that the tests that students have to take is not for special needs students. Like, it's all one test, and the special needs students have to take that. So it's not fair for them to take a test that a honor student is taking. And also, the new standards may be a watered-down version of the standards that states are already using, so it may not really be beneficial for that state. And also, the current textbooks that students are using now will be obsolete. So now I want to show you a video to show you what some teachers think of the Common Core standards.
This year I began my 22nd year here at the By Crane Central School District, where I have taught grades 2, 5, and 6.
Sixth grade teacher Jennifer Rickett gets emotional talking about Common Core and testing.
I've seen students cry because they can't complete the tests.
She says she was brought to tears when she saw the 2015 Educator Guide for the test.
It just became a losing battle, and I felt the need, just a kind of a moral imperative, to speak up for the kids.
Rickert addressed her concerns with the school board, backed by fellow teachers at Ichabod Crane. She argues the upcoming state English language arts test for her sixth graders is based at a high school reading level.
To hand them a test that I know is going to be very difficult and unfair, I just can't do it.
Rickert is just one of many educators speaking out about Common Core in hopes of getting the state to make adjustments.
I think that the governor and the state education department and the regions have really just tried to push forward with the changes that they feel need to be implemented in the state. And again, there is some good in that, but I don't think that they've been responsive to a lot of the feedback that they're getting.
And that's why Rickert wants to draw attention to the issue and get support.
So as you can see, those two teachers are not for the Common Core standards. However, there are teachers that are for it. For example, I read on the Hetchinger report that actually half of teachers are already using the Common Core standards, and they don't see a problem in it. But however, there are teachers who do see the negative effects in it, and that could affect the students in the long run. States are very back and forth with it. Kentucky is extremely excited to use it, but on the other hand, we have states like Indiana that are not using it, and want to move forward without the Common Core standards. So it's a very controversial issue, and it will stay controversial until there's more facts and, you know, everything is put into place. Now we're going to go on to Max about the implementation.
All right. To start off, I'm going to show you some of the results of Kentucky and how they've been doing. Okay. As you can see here, it shows the different reading levels and, well, the outcome of how it is being effective throughout the past couple of years. And it is showing slight improvements in most of the things, but it's not as much as they expected, and that's what's causing a lot of the controversy, especially within the government. Many of the teachers are very excited about it, but the governments are worried that they're spending too much money and they're not getting the results they wanted fast enough. And you can see this in the amount of states that are actually moving away from it and are leaving the Common Core. Here you can see the map, and you can see the couple states such as Texas that never adopted it at all and never used it. And then you can see how there are several states, including Utah and Oklahoma, that have chosen to either repeal it or are in the process of revising it or changing it in a way that they think will work better. This is causing a lot of controversy because some of the teachers in these states do think it's helpful, but they are losing. They're getting rid of it because the government is worried that it's not showing enough effects. But also there are a lot of teachers that are not for it and this up here, this chart shows that there were 76% in 2013 of teachers who supported the Common Core and only 12 who opposed it. But in 2014, 40% opposed it, which is more than double the percentage, and only 46% actually supported it. This is causing a lot of controversy due to the mixed results, the testing, as Caitlin said, with the not having accommodations for special needs students. I'm going to show you a quick video about a New York State principal and how she feels about the Common Core.
Carol Burris is the principal of Southside High School on New York's Long Island, one of the top-rated schools in the country.
There is nothing wrong with having standards. Schools should have standards. States should have standards. But they got to be good standards, and they have to be realistic standards.
And you think these are neither one?
These are neither.
A self-described progressive who campaigned for President Obama, Burris has now found common ground on the Common Core with her political opposites. That thanks in part to test questions that she says are too hard or just plain confusing, like this one for first graders.
Which is a related subtraction sentence.
Well, these are all adding.
I have no idea. To be honest with you, I still haven't figured it out.
The fact that a principal of a school is unable to do a first grade problem that the standards are expecting is ridiculous. They shouldn't think to make the students take something that even the principal can't understand. Hold on 1 second. Some of the early results showed that Kentucky went up from their graduating rate of students from 2010, they were at 80%, and now they have moved up to 86%. That shows it is increasing, it is helping, but it is also struggling, and students are struggling, and is not as helpful as it was intended to be. And that is about it for our presentation on the Common Core. Thank you for watching.